Hello, I'm Erik Christensen from the NLS Norway Relocation Group, and I want to welcome you to this advanced strategic briefing. This session is specialized and specifically engineered for HR Directors, Global Mobility Manager, and the Chief Executive Officers who oversee the multi-million kroner investments required to relocate top-tier leadership into the Norwegian market. Today, we must shine a harsh light on the single largest predictor of international assignment failure. It is not the tax code, it is not the weather, and it is not the executive's performance. It is the dual career graveyard and the systematic corporate neglect of the accompanying spouse's professional ambition. When your talent acquisition team executes a high-level global relocation, the entire corporate machinery focuses intensely on the primary assignee. You negotiate their base salary, secure their premium housing allowance, and carefully map out the first 100 days of leadership integration. For accompanying spouse, standard HR policy usually throws in a generic support package, perhaps a budget for a gym membership, a subscription to a language learning app, and a list of local international schools. However, I'm here to warn you that treating the modern expat spouse as a passive homemaker is a catastrophic strategic miscalculation. When you relocate an executive from London, New York, or Singapore, the spouse is rarely trailing behind simply to manage the household. They are almost always a highly educated, ambitious professional in their own right. They have their own career trajectory, their own professional identity, and their own earning power. When they arrive in Norway and suddenly hit a brick wall of unemployment, it triggers a profound domestic crisis that will inevitably destroy your executive's ability to lead. The first hidden trap the spouse encounters is the extreme societal contrast of the Norwegian dual income norm. Norway is fundamentally built on the expectation that both adults in a household participate in the workforce. The infrastructure, from the heavily subsidized barnehage or kindergarten system to the strict 37.5-hour work week, is explicitly designed to facilitate this. Over 80% of women in Norway are actively employed. Therefore, when an ambitious expat spouse finds themselves sitting in an expensive Frogner apartment at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, they do not just feel bored, they feel socially alienated. In a society that equates professional contribution with civic duty, being involuntarily unemployed strips the spouse of their identity and cultural capital. This leads directly to the second massive barrier, the impenetrable hidden job market. The frustrated spouse naturally decides to start applying for jobs. They update their stellar Anglo-American CV and start browsing fin.no or LinkedIn. What they quickly discover is that applying blindly to Norwegian job postings yields absolute silence. Over 70% of professional roles in Norway are never publicly advertised. They are filled through local high-trust networking. Because the newly arrived spouse has no local network, or Norwegian nettverk, possesses no local Norwegian references, and cannot speak fluent Norwegian, their resume goes straight into the digital trash. Furthermore, if they use an aggressive, self-promoting American-style CV, they actively trigger the law of Jante or Janteloven, causing Norwegian hiring managers to view them as arrogant and a poor cultural fit. They are locked out of the economy. The collateral damage of this dual career graveyard is entirely predictable, yet corporations act surprised every time it happens. As the months drag on, the spouse's initial excitement curdles into deep resentment. They suffer a severe loss of self-worth. By month 6, the executive is returning home from high-pressure corporate strategy meetings to a domestic environment categorized by depression, isolation, and marital friction. A senior executive dealing with a profoundly unhappy partner is a fundamentally compromised corporate asset. Their mental bandwidth is completely drained. Their focus shifts entirely from executing your Q3 deliverables to managing their spouse's mental health and secretly planning an exit strategy back to their home country. The assignment completely collapses, costing your company millions in sunk relocation costs, lost operational momentum, and fresh executive search fees. At NLS Norway Relocation Group, we help strategic HR departments disarm this crisis through strategic career continuity. We firmly advise our corporate clients that you are not just relocating an executive, you are relocating a dual career unit. Completely abandon the passive gym membership model of spousal support. Instead, we initiate aggressive pre-arrival career mapping for the trailing spouse. We provide localized CV transformation, teaching them how to tone down Anglo-American hubris to align with the Norwegian Janteloven expectations. Importantly, and most importantly, we bypass the digital application void by directly plugging the spouse into our established B2B corporate networks, facilitating warm introductions and informational interviews that unlock the hidden job market. If you want to protect your global talent investments, you must secure the professional identity of the entire family unit. Please visit our website at nlsnorwayrelocation.no, nlsnorwayrelocation.no, to learn how our advanced dual career mobility solutions safeguard your international assignments from the dual career graveyard. We look forward to being your partner in building resilient, supported corporate teams in Norway.